This clip is about time. Real time, sweet time, unforgettable, painful time, lonely time. What you do with your time. As time is valuable, is priceless. You only realize that when you are nearly at the end of your time. But I never had time for time. Not a minute to think about what I'm going to do next. As destiny always kicked me to a direction, whether it was right or wrong, I had to deal with it. So far, I managed to stay with the time. But somewhere along the way, I'm going to be left behind, and that would be my time. The first poem is called The Story of Time. There was an old man who stood on his shaky legs, walked as though he had all the time in the world, holding in his hand some carrier bags as if the weight were pulling him to the floor. Behind him, some teenage kids, or perhaps I should say monsters, because their games are no longer to play, just destructive. Their laughter is not for joy, it's harmful. And worst of all, they are only kids, our own kids. Now, this old man, who once was an Olympic champion, held every record in his time. Yes, everyone knew him by name. Today, he is a lonely old man unknown. He was trying his best when he heard, "Come on, old man, if you can't move fast, get out of our way. I have no time for you." It was the gang leader's voice, who was trying to deepen his voice, leaving the old man no choice but to stop. With laughter of other members of the gang, the old man stopped to let them go. Thought to himself, when I was young, it was my pride and joy to help some old man like me. And now I pity you boys, for everyone has a story to tell. When or if you ever reach my age. He looked up to the sky for a moment, still thinking as he carried on his way. Time will tell. Time is money to people who mean nothing to the time. Life is honey to those who encounter the heart and fulfill it with love. Death is a game that you only play once, but your mind is a crossroad that no matter how often you cross it, you're back there again and again and again and again. This one is called When I Am Waiting with Time. I know the time when I look at the time. I've seen the time after time. I can hear the drops of my lonely tears in the stream. I fear my enemies loudly cheering in extreme. When I look at the time, when I'm waiting with time. I've seen the time after time. I can't do anymore. I can't say anymore. As I see your face, to me, it's not just a picture. It's a view that has to be seen, even though I've seen it in time and time after time. But I still cannot believe it is the end of the time for me and you. If you cannot see me, please hear me. If you cannot reach me to say crazy, you already know how I feel about you. Crazy I may be, because I love you. Every second of the day when I look at the time, when I'm waiting with time. This one is called Foretell. The blind man said, "Forgiving is a gift. Forever is a time. I'll tell you your fortune for a price of a dime. For a score is 80, and the future I foresee, in the years to come, you'll be as happy as can be. But remember this," he said, "foresight is for knowledge, and forbear is to avoid, and for faith is your fate, and fortitude is your hope. Fortissimo. Forget me not," he said, holding the dime in his hand. "Bless you, my son, for part is your beginning, and for thought is my eyes." This is the last one. I was left alone with my mind, and I had a little dispute, whether I was nice, potentially ugly, or rather cute. And because I was no longer young, just a little bit older, body like a rubber folder, emotionally, frightfully colder, I realized the age of time. That if time never began, It didn't have to end. Feeling the time wasn't with me, even though I was surrounded by time, I ended this dispute for a reason, that I am going nowhere, since this is all in my mind. Signed, the handsome poet. Thank you for listening.